YouTube, how's it going? Doug here from Bessie Custom Fab. Today, it's been minus fucking 35, minus 40 here, so I finished up a couple projects. I got some room to bring the truck in, so let's make sure that truck starts now. Today we're doing a quick video. This is a steel intake air cover. This was the original one. The guy keeps breaking these. I wonder why. Crappy plastic. This thing is solid as shit and it'll last forever. So stick around, we'll show you how I did it. Okay, today we're doing this. We're going to build this thing out of steel. I've got, this piece was supplied. It's actually two pieces, but we're going to ignore this piece and we're going to focus on this piece. I've got the gasket that was also supplied, which obviously fits in here. So this is going to be my template. I'm going to build something like this out of some flat bar, 1 inch by whatever I got kicking around, 1/8. And then I've got a little template I made for the sides of this thing, and then we'll attach those similar to this. Form a piece of 14 gauge to go around here. It's I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're gonna learn together. So stay with me. Let's find some flat bar and cut some pieces. Okay, I found some 1.5 by 1/8 flat bar. That'll be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 4 pieces. I'm going to cut 2. I'm going to cut 2 at 10 and whoops, there we go. 2 at 10 3/8 for the horizontals, we'll call them, and then for the verticals, this is just about 8 1/4. But I'm going to cut them about 9 because I've got to shape them so they'll add a little bit of length. I'll cut them long, shape them, and then trim them to fit after. So actually, if I'm going to have 1.5 inches here and 1.5 inches here, that takes 3 inches off. So it takes my 8 1/4 down to 5 1/4, right? If my math is correct. So let's cut them at 6 1/2 just to be on the safe side. We'll trim them after. We'll drill the holes way later, but let's cut some flat bar and form it to that shape right there. So the next step, you can see I've got that formed to that shape there, which is good. And then I'm going to tack this piece to those two, something like that. And that starts to give us our shape. So okay, so I've got this piece somewhat finished. I didn't show it, but I did bevel these pieces out because once you weld that and grind the weld off, there's nothing really holding. So I did bevel these both sides. I will do the same on this. This profile fits as good as it's gonna get. Just about perfect. Maybe it is perfect. Holy shit. I took this last piece and I just clamped it on here for now. And I will cut this here and this here, also beveling them again. weld this piece on, and that'll give us our main frame. And then what we'll do after that is cut a couple of these guys out of 14 gauge, and I got it backwards, and they'll go on here, and that way the holes will be on the outside of the flange, and then we'll shape our piece of 14 gauge for the cover. So we're going to keep rolling here, making progress. Okay, so this piece, let's turn this off so you can hear me. This piece has got a nice shape to it now. Look at that. These guys, I zip cut out of a piece of 14 gauge, and they will go something like this. I've still got to finalize that shape a little bit, just grind them, but I'll clamp them together and grind them both at the same time so they're identical, and then we'll fit those on there, and then on to the next. Okay, so I built this little hydraulic pneumatic press brake a few years ago, I guess. Runs off air to hydraulic, so it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. Let's do it. We need about that. And to me that looks good. We always give it a little extra for fun, because it's easier to bend it back than bend it again. Take that down, take it out. Oh, a little more. Come on. I already have a kick on there. Makes it hard to get out. Let's see how we did. Not bad. Could have went more, for fuck's sakes. As usual. Let's give it a little more. Sometimes it needs a little persuasion. There it is. That should do it. I'll do a little extra, but we'll hammer it back. So I put my two kicks in it, and then I just literally put this over this piece of pipe and put a tiny radius in it. We'll see how it fits. I have to trim a 1/4 inch off this edge, so we'll just imagine that I did that already. And it's getting close. You can see I've got a little bit of pounding to do. Smack it with the hammer a little bit. I could also just take a bit off this high spot here too. I might just do that. Then it'll fit good. So I'm going to trim this, and then we'll work on the last little kick on the end. Getting there. So it's fitting nicely now. that gap will come down. It's just kind of roughly clamped on there. But what I'll do is I'll fit the very leading edge along there, tack it, and then just pull it tight, and tack it until I can't anymore. I'll get to here, and then I'll just, as I tack, I'll just keep pulling it down, and eventually it'll come together. But before I do that, I've got to cut some holes in here, because this is supposed to be a air intake, like this. Well, you can't have an air intake without any holes, so I'm going to cut some slots in here and put some perforated metal in there. Then we'll do the rest of that shit. So here we go. So I had some perforated metal kicking around, so I cut a piece. It's just clamped in there for now. I drilled holes so the corners are kind of radiused. It's not perfect, but I'm not going to spend all fucking day on this thing. It looks pretty good. So we're going to clamp this in, tack it on the back side, cut one more, put it on that side, and then we start putting the thing together with the main frame. So here we go. Okay, so that's it. It's all welded. I welded the inside as well, just to make it stronger. This thing is indestructible, seriously. Compared to this plastic flimsy piece of shit, this thing's going to be solid. So hopefully this guy likes it and he wants more, because I'll make more. I kept the template for the sides. I kept the profile layout for that, so I can just make more now. I don't need this piece. You can throw this in the garbage. So anyway, that's it. That's my 14 gauge vent cover. Thanks for watching Bestie Custom Fab. Rock and roll.